Since we updated you guys on our long-term 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. So we've had this vehicle for about 7 months now, and it is, bar none, been one of the most fun vehicles I've ever owned, if not the funnest. So we've got just over 16,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles on it so far. 2 weeks after we bought it, we ended up driving it out to Toronto from Vancouver to compete in our friend Dave Hayes' SRT Demon private track rental. We had a ton of fun out there, raced a bunch of cars. Dave was cool enough to let me drive his Demon and take it down the track a few times, and overall it was an excellent trip. Since then, we've added a JLT cold air intake and a JLT catch can to the Trackhawk. We took it out and got it dynoed last month, and this is how it went. On its first run, it put down 650 all-wheel horsepower. For the second run, I added in about 10% E85, which ends up with about an E10 mix. And it picked up 33 horsepower on the dyno and put down 683 wheel horsepower. So what do we have coming in the future for this thing? Well, thanks to Joe Kincaid at Kincaid Performance, otherwise known as Killer Chiller, and our friend Charles at That Guy from BR on Instagram, who drives the Hellcat powered 2019 Ram Rebel that he made with America's Most Wanted 4x4, we have a Killer Chiller system for this. We're going to be adding it shortly and testing it out in the future. We also are going to rip a tuned incognito lower pulley along with a tune, and we're going to see how that ends up. I want to get this thing solidly into the 10s by the end of this year, but of course with everything going on in the world right now, I don't even know if the track's going to be open. So in the last 7 months, this Grand Cherokee has given us no issues at all. It's really just been in for routine oil changes, and that's about it. I do notice a bit of a clunk going between reverse and drive when you first move. I'm going to end up getting that looked at next time it goes in for service. But other than that, this thing has been perfectly fine and given me no issues. It is a ton of fun to drive. There's way more than enough power at your right foot. And it's one of those things that it's kind of fun to drive because it makes other people happy too. The Trackhawk doesn't really stand out from a regular SRT Grand Cherokee. It looks pretty similar, but the people that do know what it is definitely do geek out about it a little bit. So it does get a little bit of attention when you're driving down the road. Now, as far as the ride goes on smooth pavement, this thing is incredibly smooth and rides very nice. It is firm over rough pavement for sure. And when you put it into sport mode, it gets a little firmer, and track mode, it gets very, very bouncy. In my opinion, I haven't had this thing on a track yet, but I feel like the dampers are a little too stiff in track mode even for the track. It actually makes it pogo a little bit, and it bounces a little bit on its suspension. So interesting choice. At the same time, there is a lot of weight that they have to control. So by stiffening up the dampers is definitely one way to do it. So we'll see. I'd like to get this thing onto an actual road course at some point and just see how it does. It's obviously not designed for that, but I think it would be fun and kind of cool to see this thing go around a course. On the drag strip though, this thing is a ton of fun. I actually have a custom mode set up that leaves the suspension in soft so you still get the most weight transfer. And I turn off the paddle shifters in that because I have bumped the paddle shifter before accidentally. And then one of the nice things about this is that when you're using the paddle shifters, it will not upshift for you. It'll hold a gear. But if you do it by accident when you're on a drag strip and you don't realize it, then you end up just banging off the rev limiter instead of going fast. So it's one thing to keep in mind. That never gets old. So as I mentioned before, 2 weeks after I bought this, I ended up taking it from my home in Vancouver, British Columbia, all the way out to Toronto, Ontario. It's about a 5,000 kilometer drive each way, about 4 days of driving each way as well. And I was putting in between, 12 to 15 hours of seat time a day. And the seats are very, very comfortable. I did not get fatigued at all. They are a little on the firm side, which is okay. And they do have nice big bolsters. And the nice thing with these seats is the bolsters are wide enough for a big fat guy like myself to fit comfortably in, but still be held going around corners. As far as the rest of the interior goes, the Grand Cherokee is definitely showing its age a little bit here. It's a pleasing overall design, and materials are decent. If you get the signature leather wrapped interior, the interior is very, very nice. The complete dash is covered in leather, as well as the door panels from top to bottom. And you get the full leather seats, which I actually didn't want. I prefer these Alcantara seats, but I do like everything else that comes with the signature leather package. So it's just something to keep in mind. We'll do a quick little launch here in track mode. Oh yeah. That's what this thing is all about. That's going to do it for our quick update on our 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. We're going to try to get some more content out for you guys soon. It's a little tough with everything being pretty much shut down right now, but I do want to do videos more regularly, so stay tuned for that. We're going to get this killer chiller installed soon, and we're going to hopefully get some more parts coming, and we'll keep you guys updated. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.